Presentamos el nuevo Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge.
Hey, we finally have bipartisanship. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. Usually they agree to rob us of our tax dollars when they have bipartisanship. But in this case, they're going to do sentencing reform. But God, we incarcerate people at an insane rate in this country. But it didn't always happen to be that way. In fact, in the middle of the century, according to the New York Times, the United States was on par with the other Western nations, with incarceration rates hovering roughly around 170 people per 100,000. Now, that's normal. Now, we're not at normal anymore. Now we lead the world in throwing people into jail. Now, instead of 170, it's roughly 750 people per 100,000 folks. That is an unbelievable rate that surpasses all those other countries by a country mile. So what happened? Well, the number of those going to prison and the length of time spent behind bars by offenders skyrocketed after 1986, when Congress established mandatory minimum drug sentences. Of course, the war on drugs. They just took people, shoved them into jails, and then, oh, shockingly, we leave the world and shoving people into jails. That's what happens when you pass laws like that. Finally, the Republicans have gotten their head out of their ass a little bit, at least the libertarian ones, and are working with Democrats to get some sort of reform here. Now, another amazing fact, nearly half of all current federal prisoners are serving sentences for drug crimes. Imagine if we didn't have the war on drugs. If we lifted that prohibition, my God, all those people could actually go back and lead productive lives. Maybe they could be in the business of, for example, alcohol. When we lifted prohibition, they went into that business. Budweiser, Coors Light, all these different people. They could be employed. They could actually provide for their families instead of rotting away in prisons. And now, why are the Republicans on the side? Well, first of all, they don't want to pay the cost anymore. I know the prisons are really costly. Now, look, some of them, to be fair, say that it's also moral human costs involved. Thank God, finally, after decades, they realize that. But also, as the Times reports, there has been an over-criminalization of certain conduct that they, the Republicans, perceive as another form of regulatory growth. Oh, I love that framing. Okay. Yes, you're right. It's over-regulation. Get the government out of that business. Well, of course, they've got to be in the business of prisons, because if you make it a private prison, then you incentivize more people going to jail. But overall, if the Republicans feel better about calling it overregulation, and hence why we shouldn't throw all these people for drug offenses into jail, then great, I'll take it. Final judgment on sentencing reform? About damn time.